Fun fact number 148. I have created a slideshow with much difficulty from pictures I found on the internet that were free to try to do Fun Fact 148, which is a short story that's going to be in my next short story book that I'm working on right now, which would be 8 Stories 4. 8 Stories 4. And it's called this is the one that I was telling you about that I feel like is reflective of what's going on in our country, in society, in the world a little bit, a lot right now. But it also came from a dream. And the title came from the dream, the response of the lady who touches the cheeks said this. It's part of the story. And that was the part of the dream that I had. And then I just kind of put the rest of it together based on the world. And so it's called It's What Any Mama Would Do. And I'm just going to start reading it for you. This is a new PowerPoint that puts my picture in. I think I've done this once before, but it's still kind of weird. So fun fact, number 148, let me read you one of my latest short stories that isn't published yet. Was it a dream? She had seemed older, but ageless. She was a white woman, but she was spotted with freckles and moles in many skin shades. She even had a pitch-black mole on her hand that was darker than my skin. Once the attacks had begun, there had been no place to hide. Buildings had fallen. To dust in a blink of an eye. The world had become a lot of dust. The destruction was immense, but not yet complete. On the first day, I had not been attacked, but I had seen many people hanging from trees. The last immigrants had been attacked first, shipped off to other countries or dumped in the ocean. Still shackled together, some were lucky and were placed in concentration camps, far from those who loved them and searched for them. Families were broken, children were left, children were orphaned, and were left to starve. And many just died or took their own lives or tried to leave the country that once promised dreams and now only promised torture and death. In a turn of a page, everything in the beauty of the world had flipped to horror. I always wondered what they would do without their workers and servants. What would they do when everyone was gone except them? Who would be the next to blame for their own misery? I could not find anyone I knew anymore. I had been attacked, tortured, raped, and was made to watch some I knew tortured and raped in front of me. But then they did not ship us off or put us in a detention center, or kill us. We were like mice the cats would play with and torture until they grew bored, and then they would leave us to die and find another mouse to play with. The world was our prison. As time went by, we realized the world always had been our prison, and death was the only true place freedom existed. They had not been done playing with me, but the damage was done. One day, I don't know what happened, but I found a way to escape, and I ran. I do not have the strength to lift my head most days, but I found the strength to run. I ran in a haze, and I hid when I could. I found some food and water here and there. They stopped chasing me after a while, but I knew if another of their kind found me again, I would be a mouse again. I found a place where there was some life left in the rubble of an old building. I found a pathway that was safe, that went down into the rubble. It was like a cave made out of the destruction and was safe. No one would have known it was there. I found it by accident. I found a fresh water source and had cleaned myself of the years of abuse. Time had been irrelevant after a while, but I realized that 5 years had gone by since the attacks had started. I realized that I was now probably 25 years old. Flashbacks of birthday parties with candles and cakes and friends and family entered my mind. The glow of the candles and the green of the grass on picnic days. I left my cave for a bit. The wounds on parts of my body were infected. The first cleansing seemed to help. I had been in my cave for only a week before I found fresh water, but I was careful not to go when others might see me and take me away again. I saw no other people for about a month, and then one day she appeared in my cave. She looked clean and unharmed. She wasn't out of breath or wounded. I hid within the cave so she could not see me. I heard someone coming, but even after I saw her, I did not reveal where I was. I wasn't accustomed to people and was afraid of people who did not look like they had been tortured or who had suffered. I was under the patchwork blanket that I had cleaned and used for warmth on the cold nights. I tried not to breathe so she would not hear me. "You're going to pass out. Go ahead and breathe." "I already know you were under the blanket," she said. Fear gripped my insides, and I almost threw up. I slowly peeked around the blanket's edge. She had 2 satchels and a water jug. The one thing I lacked was a water jug. There was the fresh water source, but I found very little in my cave to put the water in. I had foraged for some food, and found some natural sources such as berries and wild vegetables. She smiled, and the entire room seemed to glow. Her eyes sparkled in a way I hadn't seen for a long time. I hadn't spoken for a long time to anyone, and I had barely spoken to myself. I used to love to sing and dance. I'd been in college when the attacks had started. I felt that someone would actually do something to stop what was happening, but I had also gone to many protests while trying to keep up my grade point average. I'd found some clothes in my building rubble cave and had cleaned them and was wearing one of the dresses. It was a soft dress that went down to my calves. It was so pretty and comfortable. My hair was natty, even though I had found a pick to try to get out some of the kinks. My strength wasn't high enough to work through all the knots. One of the wounds on my facial cheeks was closed, but not healed all the way. The other pussed a bit and still had some raw blood that still smeared the cloth I put down when I tried to sleep. She looked pristine. All of a sudden, I was embarrassed about how I looked, as if I had done something wrong or hadn't prepared properly for a guest. I hadn't cleaned the place or put out the best dishes or cooked a meal. She laughed. There's still some of you left. That's good. She undid one of her satchels, and I saw food that I hadn't seen in years. My stomach made a sound. Let's eat, okay? The spotted lady said. We ate. I felt like a person for a second. We did not speak. She smiled now and then and hummed or said, this is good, isn't it? She poured water from the jug and we both drank. I finally found my voice. Are you real? Yes. She put her speckled hand on my chocolate hand. It felt so soft and warm. Do I feel real? Yes. I thought I was well hidden. How did you find me? Oh, no one can hide from me. Don't worry. I always say that wrong, don't I? It sounds scary that way. Oh, well, I do try to do the best I can. She reached out her hand to my face and placed her hand on my left cheek. The one with the mostly healed wound. I'd received the wounds from a ragged knife blade. The first time I was raped, they slashed both of my cheeks when I fought back. The first man had said, "You think you're a pretty little monkey." Then he slashed my face and said, "Now you are less pretty, so stop fighting back so much." Other men later cut them because they wanted me to fight back. You can never please them. The lady looked into my eyes and smiled as her hand was on my cheek. She didn't say a word. She took her hand away, then put her hands together in a prayer, and then opened her hands and blew on them with her palms facing up. She touched my other cheek with her hand. I looked worried. She whispered, "Oh, no worries. These hands have seen a lot and a lot worse. Rest your mind." She breathed deeply. And a tear trickled out of one eye down her cheek. I felt a shift. Something in me changed. Her brown, wispy hair moved softly, as if a light breeze had moved around her. Her face seemed to glow. The tear kept running down her one cheek. "Take a deep breath," she said. I did. Feel your left cheek with your hand, and then your right cheek. The wound on my left cheek was gone. The wound on my right cheek was healed. There was a light scar. I cried. "Why did you do that?" "It's what any mama would do, isn't it?" "But you don't know me." "Don't I?" "You have suffered so much. You had dreams and hopes and a life and a future once. It wasn't fair, but it was what was meant to happen. You cannot change what happened to you and everyone, but you can change what is happening now. In a way, you are still a child. still waiting for a mother to come make it better. But now you will have to make it better too. You will have to stop hiding and find those still hiding and make them wake up again from the nightmare. With everything that happened to you, you never hurt another. You never took another's life. You fought back every way you could, short of killing another. You were so brave. Now it's time to be braver and live again. You know what happened to me? Yes, you're not the only one who has survived. Do you think because I look this way now that I did not suffer too? I found a way to survive without killing others. I lost a lot, but now I have found a lot. What do you mean it was meant to be? We tried to stop it, didn't we? Nothing we did made a difference. The hate and blame just grew and grew until there was no one else to hate or blame. I never understood the mothers and fathers who killed others. How could they? Those they killed were someone's child. Those they tortured and raped were someone's sister, mother, daughter, brother, father, and son. Someone loved them. Someone nurtured them. Someone's life would never be the same without them. If you had brought life into this world and watched it grow, how could you destroy life? I never did understand that. Now they know. It took this for them to wake up. As they say, ignorance is bliss, but when you see and know and feel the truth after being ignorant, the torment is more real than if you already knew. Are you an angel? Hell no, my dear. What's your name? Putting a name on me is not appropriate. Most I find call me Mama or Lady. The gift has been given. I will leave you with my satchels and water. The rest you must heal and wake up on your own. When you regain your strength, my butterfly, you will need to leave our hiding place and travel northwest. There is a compass in the satchel to guide you. You may never see me again, but you will hear stories of the mamas who travel. I am one. Is there anything I can do for you? No. Wait. Yes. I would love to hear your voice. Would you sing with me? Oh, and let me comb your hair. We sang my favorite song. She combed my hair. I fell asleep, warm, with a full stomach for the first time in ages, and in her arms. When I woke up, I felt refreshed and really awake. I touched my cheeks and hair. I saw the satchels and water. Was it a dream? Thanks, Mama. I will wake up now. I think I could have found some better pictures. That's the end. I think I could have found some better pictures. And I think one of the pictures was out of order because I lost them all. Then they all went black and white. Haven't done this for a while, but I hope you enjoyed. Fun fact. Number 148, one of my new short stories that'll be coming out in a new book soon. And I hope you enjoyed it. And maybe it woke something up in you as well. Let's move forward on this path you see before you. Ciao, Bellas.